How to manage an offshore software development team effectively in 2021 by ProCoders. Managing offshore teams. This step-by-step guide from ProCoders will help you get the most from your outsourced resources. There's many whys, whats, and hows you need to consider when it comes to managing an offshore software development team effectively. Come along with ProCoders as we walk you through our favorite tricks for managing offshore development teams. Popular tips for managing offshore development teams. The secret of how to manage an offshore development team effectively is in setting the right parameters for the project before you start, as what to think about before you sign that outsourcing contract. How is development time tracked? Expenses can get out of hand quickly without daily oversight. To know how to manage an offshore development team, start with an agreement on billing. Are your programmers paid on retainer? Or will they be charging by the hour? If there are overage, how is that typically handled? It's important that you understand the estimate you get as well as the amount of hours estimated. How did they arrive at the figures? Do their output expectations match yours? What tools will they use? With the right tool permissions, you'll quickly learn how managing an offshore software development team can effectively double your output. So take a moment to consider exactly how you expect to manage offshore developers. Do they know Agile? Agile methodology covers the project process. It's the gold standard for programming project flow. While most offshore developers will be well versed in its workflows, you should always specify how Agile development will play out in your organization. Align your processes and you'll find managing offshore teams can double your productivity. Do they know your processes? Greater than Agile on its own is not enough. What internal protocols and processes will impact your consulting programmers? What about your security? Will they need access to your front or back-end systems? You'll be surprised how that can help you boost your offshore team's effectiveness and make managing software development far more efficient. Schedule with time differences in mind. With a global setup, you may have concerns about how to manage an offshore software development team, but global programmers can actually be a huge asset if you plan correctly. After all, while you're sleeping, your Ukraine offshore development team might be clocking. How do you maximize your offshore team's productivity? Managing offshore software development teams effectively begins with one simple idea: collaboration, and that begins with a solid work plan. Your success will depend on the team dynamic that springs from that. Technical stack for remote collaboration. The key to offshore development management is creating a culture of collaboration so every team member feels valued for their expertise. Be a part of a team and understands the project's key points. Generally found that to do that, company must have following. Tools. Systems like Skype, Zoom, Slack, or Google Meet can be fantastic for not only creating access and transparency, but for providing the always-on connectivity to manage offshore developers and promote teamwork. Productivity tools. If you want to know how to manage an offshore software development team, start with the productivity tools like Trello, Asana, Jira, Basecamp to put all your project materials in one place. 500 milliseconds greater than. How do we manage offshore software development teams at ProCoders and avoid pitfalls? Set milestones and deliverables. It's the foundation of offshore development management. Of course, expect to have a hand in the schedule, especially where it impacts your internal teams. Ideally, you should have enough research so the schedule is set with clear milestones and deliverables before work begins. Direct management. Many offshore consulting firms operate using an account executive to handle client communications. At ProCoders, we don't. Why? Because our experience has taught us that the best, most effective way for managing your offshore software development team is direct. Clients manage ProCoders developers as if they are their own staff and speak to them usually daily. Total transparency. This is a management philosophy and daily directive for us. It's our belief that managing offshore teams effectively requires communication. That means there should never be any pockets of information that are restricted. Synchronize work hours. With every new client, we agree on co-working hours, to ensure there's always a portion of the day we can be reached immediately. Accessibility, after all, can only help you manage offshore developers. Clear billing. Offshore development management begins with a critical agreement on billing. At ProCoders, we like to keep this as transparent as possible. We promise no nasty billing surprises, ever. Mark your milestones. Quantifying your expectations is a crucial part of how to manage an offshore development team effectively. We've made clear. Time equals 0.3s greater than written expectations are the bedrock of our client relations strategy at ProCoders. That means understanding a client's schedule, project gates, milestones, and key performance indicators. Plan for transfer back to your internal staff. While we have many ongoing open-ended relationships with our clients, at some point most projects will be migrated back to our clients' internal staff for the maintaining when development is successfully over. Perhaps a key lesson in how to manage an offshore development team is knowing how to unwind a consulting relationship. See conclusion. So know that you've seen our advice on how to manage an offshore development team and maximize offshore software development benefits. Have you noticed there's a common theme? It's communication, and that perhaps is the greatest challenge of outsourcing. It can seem daunting to be managing offshore development teams that live in a world outside your language, culture and time zone. Subscribe our channel and read more about how to manage an offshore software development team effectively in 2021 at ProCoders blog.